Hey, welcome back to the Spark Faith podcast. I am Dr. Chris Sargent, and we are going to dive deep into gut brain health today and the how, what's up Wednesday, and what do we do about leaky gut and leaky brain. That is what we're going to talk about today, because if you have a leaky gut, you probably have a leaky brain, more than likely. So what creates leaky gut in the first place? Well, one of the biggest things actually out there is the food that we eat and the stressors that we put on our body. And those stressors can be anything from mental and emotional stress to not enough exercise, to sitting on the couch too much, to poor food choices and ultra processed foods and bad fats, right? I talked about that a couple weeks ago, right? Bad fats cause all kind of destruction in our gut and our brains, which I also talked about. So leaky gut, leaky brain, this is not a good scenario for many people. So I'm going to share my screen and share a little bit about some of the same things I shared on Saturday. So if you missed my presentation on Saturday, my masterclass, you're going to get a couple of slides from my masterclass. And then you can go in and find the replay and see, you can get like the full scoop, right? So let me go ahead and share my screen with you so that, here we go, you can see some of the things that we talked about. So I'm going to just touch on some of these things, but our neurotransmitters talk to our gut, and our gut talks to our brain, and our brain talks to our gut. And it happens through neurotransmitters and the vagus nerve. And those two things can really get messed up when we have a leaky gut and our brain stops talking to our gut properly. So that's just one piece. And so you can see how if our neurotransmitters get messed up, then that can also lead to anxiety and depression. And IBS is huge. And when you are going from back and forth, or you're just constipated, or you just have a lot of diarrhea, or you're going back and forth, that doesn't allow your nutrients to be absorbed very well. And it allows a lot of other toxins in, again, creating leaky gut, creating leaky brain. So how do we fix that? First thing that we have to do is weed our garden, right? We have to take out those offending foods. We have to stop eating the foods that aggravate our system. And those foods are the foods of ultra-processed foods, the ultra-processed oils, and, gluten and dairy, and sometimes eggs can be real big offenders for people. And so we've really got to weed that garden. We need to take those processed foods out. And it doesn't mean you're going to be 100%, but let's get as close as we can to doing that, so that we can really start with a clean slate, right? Then we need to start replacing some of those nutrients, right? We need to start putting nutrients back into our soil. And the way that we're going to do that is by adding in nutrient-dense foods, right? Some really good veggies. It's nothing that you don't know. I know that. Y'all are really smart. So it's vegetables and fruits, but not a lot of fruit, more veggies, fiber, good, lean protein. And that's going to start the healing. And you can get a long way doing just really good foods, right? You also are going to need some specific nutrients. If you've had a weed-filled garden for quite some time, you're probably deficient, right? If you've had leaky gut, it's like having a leaky bucket, right? You've got holes in your bucket. So a lot of things that you're putting into the bucket, right, are just leaking out the bottom. And so you're not really retaining a lot of those nutrients, and you're not going to have a lot of reserve. And we don't have a lot of reserve as it is. We've been through a lot of stress. Our bodies over the last 800 days of hard, right, have gone through a ton of stress. And so you just have to know that that's one of the things that is going to make a huge difference in how much nutrients you're going to need to put back in. I've used a gut healing protocol for 25 years, and very few patients have too much trouble with it. And so I'm going to share that in the show notes, and you'll be able to get a hold of that link for all of my personal protocols. And I'm not a huge fan of protocols, but there are certain things that work well for most people. And we can personalize it to you we can definitely personalize it to you. When you become a client, that's what we do with labs, etc. Anyway, let's go on to amending our soil. All good gardens need compost, right? They need manure, they need good bacteria. Now, we need to make good poop, right? So adding in fermented foods can really make a huge difference for you. So we want to add in some fermented foods, some sauerkraut, some pickles. Like there are pickles like that, pickled pickles, some kimchi, some kombucha. There's all kind of really yummy foods out there that are fermented foods that you can add back in without adding in dairy. You don't have to drink kefir or yogurt. There's other things that you can get a hold of. Trader Joe's is great for that stuff. And then we need to plant some really good seeds, right? We've planted good seeds, we've gotten your probiotics, you're getting in good foods, you're doing the gut healing protocol. You're going to really start to see things change. And our bacteria can change in as little as 3 days. As little as 3 days, we can start doing that. But to get established, it really takes 90 to 120 days, much like the growing cycle. Why would you think it's any different than growing a garden, right? Growing cycles can range between 60 to 120 days and longer for some plants. But let's just take that 90 and go with that and really focus on what you need to do for 90 days, because that's really how you're going to see some big results. And so those results are going to be determined by how well you can stick and how much accountability you have and how much coaching you have and all the things that really create success. Because we know that when we try to go it alone, according to the research, you're only going to get about an 8% success rate. But having a coach, somebody that you can be accountable to, an accountability group, friends, whatever that is, right? Me, that's what's going to create that longer term success and help you understand your motivation, your self-sabotaging, kind of tracking that and what triggers you are. Like, you can learn so much in 90 days. So what's your next step? Do you need to make a phone call to me? Please. I would love to hear from you. Like, we got an hour for free. I'll put together your plan, what needs to happen next for you, where you're at in all of those steps. And I'd be happy to talk to you about those things. And I'd really love to help you heal, right? I'd love to help you heal your leaky gut and your leaky brain to really make a big difference in your mental health, mental and emotional health, along with your whole body. Because when you start doing this and you start getting nutrients in, your whole body changes. Your skin gets like, your energy goes up, skin gets clearer, you feel more motivated, you don't feel as sluggish. Like, so many things make a difference to that. So how's that? Come on. I want to see you. I would love to see you. So you have no obligation. Just go ahead, set up a little appointment or throw down some love. Like my podcast. If you're getting anything out of this, I'd really love to hear from you. So anyway, let's connect. I can't wait to meet you and get to know you better. Blessings. Love y'all. Bye.